शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्यम्। So we saw so far, I'll just sum up everything. Karma produces adrishta. And this adrishta is called papa punyam. And these papa punyams, that is adrishta, has been accumulating from many janmas. And papa punya unfolds in the form of pleasant or unpleasant events or situations in life. In fact, the very birth of a human being or any animal or plant or anything, if there is birth, it is because of papa punyam alone. Why? Because this papa punyam was earned by me. If I earn something, then I have to spend it, right? So either it could be punyam, I have to spend it. If it is papam, then I have to pay back also. So having a lot of punyam doesn't mean that one will be free from pain. Lot of punyam is an assurance that you have more janmas. But sometimes lot of punyam will, you may not be a human being, okay? You may not be born as a human being. If you have a lot of punyam, then you will be a deva or a gandharva or a yaksha, all those things. But still, once the punyam is over, again you have to, not punyam completely over. The punya that is required to be a yaksha or a gandharva or a kinnara or a deva will be over. So whatever punyam is left is not sufficient for you to be there. So whatever punyam is left, it will be sufficient for some other janma, maybe. Okay. Generally, manusya janma. So again, you will be born as a manusya. The punyam gets exhausted. Then we have to earn again more punyam. So this goes on and on. So this just having punyam doesn't free one from samsara. And nobody knows how much papa punyam is there. How much we have accumulated also nobody knows. And nobody knows when it will manifest. When and where it will manifest and how it will manifest is always a suspense. Either it is a surprise or it is a shock. If it is punyam, then it is a surprise. If it is papam, then it is a shock. So, எப்போ வருவேன் எப்படி வருவேன்னு தெரியாது, ஆனா வர வேண்டிய நேரத்துல கரெக்டா வருவேன். Those who know Tamil know that. It's a dialogue. But one thing everybody knows, what? In spite of any appropriate prayatna and giving enough time for the result of the karma to come, the result of karma is not always the same. It is fourfold. This much everybody knows. So we know that we come to know that there is a third factor which is deciding all this in accomplishing whatever you need to accomplish. So this third factor is called Devam, grace, Anugraha. So when my Adrishta is given to me, I call it as grace. Why? Because it is coming from Ishvara. Ishvara is the karma phala data. So one has to really hold on to this karma phala data. This word, Ishvara is karma phala data. Ishvara is the karma phala data. Will be later on explained in detail in the Bhagavad Gita when the Karma Yoga portion comes. So it is very, very important for you to remember that Ishvara is the Karma Phala Data. Who is Ishvara? He is the Karma Phala Data. So as the Karma Phala Data, he is the Anugraha Devata. We will see all that later, but now we have to understand why we pray, isn't it? The purpose of prayer. That's what we are looking at. So in order to neutralize this Papa Punyam, everybody prays. Okay. So that's why a person who is an astika, the one who has Shraddha in the Vedas, because what is the pramana for Papa Punyam? What is the pramana for Adrishta? Veda alone is the pramana for Adrishta. The Veda talks about Adrishta, the Veda talks about Papa and Punya, the Veda talks about Prayashchitta Karma and all that. So Veda is the pramana, Shastra is the pramana. So this person has an astika buddhi and he has Shraddha in the Shastra, and the Shastra says you have Papam, you have Punyam, which is nothing but the result of your action. If it is dharmika, it is Punyam, it is not in keeping with dharma, it is Papam, simple. So now he knows that he doesn't want the Papa to manifest. And at the same time, I do not know how much Papa is there. So the best thing is do everything that you can do in order to enhance the Punyam, increase your Punyam. So the best way to increase Punyam, one is of course people do Dharma. We saw this Swapi, Kupa, Nadi, Tataka and all, where the whole society comes together and digs well, a pond, all those things. That is Dana and Dharma, and the new Dhanam also. Annadanam, Vastradanam, Jaladanam, all those things are there. That will give you one type of Punyam. But then prayer is a karma which actually really neutralizes one's papam. Because prayer is also an action, a karma, which means we saw that a karma means you have free will to do, to choose. Prayer being a karma, you choose to pray. Okay? There is a difference between just physically doing something and having a prayerful attitude. Nobody can force you to pray. People can force you to go to a temple, but nobody can force you to pray. Nobody can force you to surrender. So the prayerful attitude, where you see Bhagavan is Sarvajnaha, Sarvavyapi, Sarvashaktiman, doesn't come by force. So when you choose to pray, that is when your free will is totally really absolute, only when you pray. So in other times, sometimes you don't know whether it is my prarabdha or whether it is my purushartha and all that. But when you choose to pray, that is the most important choice. Your free will is there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there is no question, is it in my prarabdha that I will pray or not? You cannot ask that. In fact, when you only in prayer, your purushartha is complete, your free will is complete. The choice, the ability to choose is full and meaningful only when you pray. And prayer being a karma, where you make a conscious choice to pray, you choose to pray. It produces adrishtam. It produces punya. And that is why this daily prayer or any other prayer which you do on special days also becomes very important because everyday prayer neutralizes little bit of karma every day. Some papam is being neutralized every day. So nitya puja, nitya aradhana, one should not ever give up. Should I do it in the morning or in the evening? So once it has already been said that it neutralizes your punyam, your papam and increases your punyam. How many times can you actually do? Will you really decide whether you should do it once or twice? If somebody says if you do this, your income will double, will you do it or not? So similarly, there is no doubt whether it should be done, prayer should be done once or twice. So prayer as an action, maybe you can say, where you light a lamp and show dupam, deepam. That can be done in the morning and the evening. But having an attitude, a prayerful attitude, being a devotee all the time, there is no time for that, fixed time for that. Prayer generally has to be done in the morning as a ritual, I am saying. Kayakam, vachikam, manasam. In the morning and evening, lighting the lamp in the morning is important, lighting a lamp in the evening is definitely important. Twice a day, one has to light a lamp. However busy a person may be, a lamp has to be lit in the house. So in the prayer, we say, and also ringing of the bell is very important. We'll see all that later. Then the subject will get diverted. One has to ring them, and not this pathetic little 2-inch or 1-inch bell. Gana 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 bell you should have. Should make noise. The bell is supposed to make nada. Okay. Not so big that you wake up the neighbors. At least within your house, you should be able to hear. So this daily prayer produces punyam. And this prayer is of 3 types. We saw Kayikam, Vachikam and Manasam, and we saw Kayikam and Vachikam in detail in the previous class. And we were looking at Manasa Puja. While elaborating on Manasa Karma, last week I told you that Manasa Karma is purely mental. It does not involve Kayikam or Vachikam. See, in Kayikam and Vachikam, mind is involved. Right? If your mind is not involved, then you will do a lot of mistakes. So generally, when you make a mistake, they will say, where is your mind? Where are you concentrating? Where are you focusing? Focusing here. Focus here. We say, right? When your mind wanders away, you don't do things properly. So your mind also is involved in Kaikam and Vachikam. But in Manasam, it is purely mental only. So Manasam Karma is called Jnanam or meditation. And I also told you that meditation does not mean the regular relaxation meditation here. Here meditation means dhyana. Dhyana means a mental activity focused on Ishvara. In Manasa Karma, there is a focused mental activity, a well-directed mental activity. which is called as Manasa Vyapara. So last week we ended the class by saying Manasa Karma is Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. Manasa Vyapara means mental activity. Okay. So this mental activity, Manasa Vyapara, one can do an elaborate ritual, okay, Manasa prayer, okay, where you create a altar, you have a murti, and then you do an elaborate puja. There are Manasa Puja verses describing in detail this mental worship. Shiva Manasa Puja and Devi Manasa Puja, maybe many more are there. This dhyanam is defined as Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. So Manasa Vyapara means mental activity, you understood. Okay, now we will go to the Saguna Brahma Vishaya. Okay. Guna means an attribute. Saguna means with attribute. Saguna Brahma is called as Bhagavan, Ishvara. Brahman by nature is Nirguna. You cannot relate with many people say I do Nirguna Japa, okay, Nirguna Puja. So you cannot relate with this Saguna. It has to be Saguna. Hope my voice didn't break in between. See, you only relate with Ishvara. You cannot relate with the formless. You always relate with some form. The form could be a color, the form could be a tree, the form could be a belief, anything. Okay? Some form is there. So this Nirguna Brahma with Maya Shakti is called as Saguna Brahma. In other words, Ishvara, Bhagavan. This Saguna Brahma becomes the Vishaya. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyaparaha. Saguna Brahma is the Vishaya for the Manasa Vyapara, for the mental activity. Vishaya means object. So Ishvara is the object for this mental activity. So you may have a doubt. Then what about Kaikam and Vachikam? What Vishaya is there? Is it a different Vishaya? Even Kaikam and Vachikam is also Saguna Brahma Vishaya only. So we all worship only Saguna Brahma. We don't worship Nirguna Brahma. Then why specifically say Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara for Manasa Puja? Huh? You can just say we worship Ishvara. Because we never said Saguna Brahma Vishaya Kaikam Puja, Saguna Brahma Vishaya Vachika prayer. Then why only for Manasam? There is a reason for this. See, any karma before manifesting in the form of physical action or an oral action is first formed in the mind, right? Thought forms. First a thought, then you speak. First a thought, then you respond, you act or react, whatever. Even if you say I did without thinking, it was impulsive, I didn't even think about it, I don't know what, it just happened just like that. It is not that there was no thought. Being thoughtless is different. Thoughtlessly you did something is different. But when you're impulsive also there is the thought. The thought is very fast, very quick. It's so fast you don't even know that there were a series of thoughts and which led you to make a decision at the spur of a moment. The mind worked very, very fast. We see this, no? We have seen a lot of videos where the train is coming fast and somebody is crossing the track and suddenly somebody on the platform will jump and push and save. So what we say it is at the spur of the moment they make a decision and they don't think about the consequences. The thought is to save the person. So I should save the person, thought is there, right? But it's so quick and your whole body responds to that. Instant decision. It is very fast. That is why the mind is the fastest in this world. Manojamam marutatulyavegam jitendriyam buddhimatam parishtam. The speed of Hanuman is equal to the speed of the mind. Manojamam. Maruti's Vega, the speed is Tulya, equal to Manojamam, the swiftness of the mind. In Tamil, they say, no, you say till and he comes in the form of oil. He does oil. Immediately you get oil. The Hanuman's swiftness is compared to the mind. Just imagine what the speed must be. So the thoughts are the swiftest. So even if you say impulsive, it is a thought, a very swift thought. Without thinking means without deliberately, oh no, the train has come, in 1 second it is going to hit him. Should I jump or not? How should I jump? From the left or right? All this you are not thinking at that time. The situation is such that spontaneous, the mind fast works very fast. But it doesn't happen for everyone. A few people in few situations, they do make a swift decision, quick decision. Whether even if it is impulse, maybe it's not a deliberate thinking, but then it doesn't mean it was without thinking also. The thought just manifested as action before you could even take it for further investigation or questioning. Okay. The mind means thoughts. The meditation's goal, dhyana, the goal of it is not to have a thought-free mind. It's impossible to have a thought-free mind. Mind means thoughts will be there. We can say to have a mind which is calm. Okay? A calm. That is, it's not restless. There is no anger. There is no jealousy. There is no hatred. The nature of the mind is to be calm. So when we do meditation, the focus is to direct your thoughts towards breath. To start with the beginning. That's how you practice meditation. So when you focus your thought towards breath, the prana, or it could be anything, light or something, any object. Generally, it is prana vikshan. Traditionally, it is prana vikshan. You feel very relaxed, right, in this meditation, extremely relaxed and peaceful. Because when your mind is deliberately focused on a particular object, whatever anxiety or worries you may have, everything is suspended for some time. Your mind is diverted from that and you give the mind an object to focus upon. Say, okay, don't play with all that. You play with this, okay? So this is safe. Okay, I play with this. So the mind is given an object. You focus on the breath now. So for some time, your mind is diverted from worries and you feel peaceful. You didn't feel peaceful because of focusing on the breath. You felt peaceful because you were not focusing on worries. You were not focusing on anxiety. See, you just moved away from there and you came to the natural state of the mind. The natural state of mind is to be calm. So this calmness has an effect on the body also. That is why you feel very. Some people feel refreshed. Some people feel relaxed and they want to sleep. Some people feel refreshed and they work well. They go about their daily activities in a very energetic way. And you gain a degree of calmness, a quiet you, You feel very peaceful. But that is not dhyana. That is not we are talking here. Because dhyanam means Ishvara is the object of uh, focusing. Okay? Without Ishvara, it is not called dhyana. So other whatever we do other than that is a general relaxation and a healing and all that. It's not dhyana. We cannot bring it as dhyana, even though sometimes they ask you to bring Ishvara, be grateful and all that. But still, the object of the meditation is not Ishvara. It's something else. So Manasam Karma may also mean worrying, that's why. You know, because you're focused on particular thing and worrying, right? Even worrying is Manasa Karma. There is Manasa Vyapara, mental activity. When you're worried, when you're angry, when you're, whatever. Or it could be, the Vishaya could be um, family, worry about the family, worrying about the money, worrying about the financial condition, or worrying about somebody's health, all those things. So there is a Vishaya, and there is Manasa Vyapara. So is it Dhyanam? We cannot say it is Dhyanam. So, even though it is a mental activity, Manasa Vyapara, it is not Dhyana. That is why we have to give this long definition. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. Okay. So you have to differentiate the Manasa Vyapara. The Vishaya, the object of the Manasa Vyapara, mental activity, is Saguna Brahma Ishvara. So what do you do here? You visualize your Ishtadevata or any Devata and you offer asanam, padyam, margyam, whatever you do in Kaikam karma, as Kaikam karma, you do everything in the Manasam karma also. All the shodashopachara puja or panchopachara puja or even chatushashtipachara puja, 64 steps, which is done in temples. So in this type of prayer, this mental act, the devotion grows. It helps, it brings out the devotee in you. Because you hold that devata in your mind and your eyes are closed in dhyana. So naturally mouth also will be closed. Because only when you see something you have a pressure to talk or move. So physically you are in one place, your eyes are closed, so 1/5 of the world is closed. It's not available to you that particular time. And 1/5 uh, that much distraction comes down. Okay. And even though it sounds very simple, because just all I have to do is close my eyes and say, wow, nice. I can hold the one in my eyes, in my heart. Ah, sounds very nice. See, even in this meditation which we do, you are following my voice, you are following my instruction. So you are able to be there for some time. If nobody is there, you have to sit alone. Then after one few minutes, you will open like this, then open like this, then you will open like this. All this will happen. Sounds easy, But it's not that easy, really. It's not impossible, but it needs a lot of practice. First of all, you should be able to sit. Okay? Then you should be able to hold an object in your mind for a particular length of time. And it should not be done hurriedly. Okay, I have 2 minutes, let me do some dhyanam and go. No, that's not possible. 2 minutes is enough to adjust your seat. Even 2 minutes may not be enough. So you cannot do manasa puja in a hurried way. You can't rush. But once you learn how to do this manasa japa, you'll be fully absorbed in it. Even though you start with a sankalpa, later on it becomes so spontaneous. So it helps you to be absorbed for a long time, which needs a lot of practice. And as I mentioned in the previous class, this is not a substitute for kayakam karma and vachikam karma. Wow, so nice. I don't have to do anything. Just close my eyes, light the lamp, close my eyes, offer flower, close my eyes, do come. Everything. I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to take bath. Just get up and sit in the bed and do everything. Okay, my puja over. So I save some time. I'll finish everything in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Over. Not like that. So adhikasya adhikam palam is always there for kaikam karma. Remember that. If you want more punya, there is nothing like kaikam karma. So if you are a young person, then you have to definitely do a lot of kaikam karma. Use this body for why? What other purpose you have for this body? Use all your indriyas, your angas, to do kaikam karma to Bhagavan, puja to Bhagavan. When you're young, fit, and can run around and move swiftly, better to do kaikam karma. Then after a particular time, kaikam will little bit come down and vachikam will be more. That's why at a very young age, lot of vachikam also will be there. First of all, you teach children all the shlokas, all the stotras. So it has to be by hearted. Everything should be by hearted. So why the advantage is a time will come when you can't do Aikam Karma. So at that time, what is Kaikam and Vakam? It was explained in detail in the previous class. A lot of time was spent for that Kaikam and Vachikam. So when you do, it's in simple words, Kaikam means physical and Vachikam means oral. Okay? So you have to, then after a particular age where you are not able to do Kaikam and Kaikam Karma, Vachikam will be used. So that time, whatever you have memorized will be useful. So you don't have to refer to the book. You don't have to say, bring that book. Where is that book? Where is my text and all that. You have it by heart and you just continue to do the stotras and pray. So at a young age, as long as you are fit, I mean, some people are fit even 60, 70. If you can do, you can do. But generally, I'm saying, when you are not able to do, you don't have to feel bad. Oh, I used to do this, I used to do that, now I'm not able to do. You don't have to do. That is why we hand it over to the next generation. You know, your daughter-in-law comes, you hand it over. Then your granddaughter comes, hand it over. It goes on like that. Or grandchildren, not my daughter, son, and grandson. So later on, you sit and do more of Vachikam, and then after some emotional maturity, you know, and all that you do lot of Japam. It doesn't mean at a young age you should not do Japam. You should not do Manasa Japa. If you can do, then it's really great. So this is how we have to really, we should not feel guilty about all that. But you should not be lazy also. You cannot use one as an excuse to do something else. So Manasa Puja helps one to have the capacity to hold on to an object in mind for a length of time. So your dharana shakti also improves. Dharana means the ability to hold everything. So as you listen to the class, you're listening to the previous sentence, the previous class, everything comes. Like you're holding, there is a continuation, there is a flow, you're holding everything and it's taking shape in your mind. Because when you offer asanam, let us say in Manasa Puja, huh? then then you invite Bhagavan, Avahanam. Bhagavan, and then you offer Padyam, Argyam, then the seed disappears, okay? When you come to the next step, the seed disappears. Then you continue with the steps and Bhagavan himself will disappear from your mind. So everything should asanam. So it should be a continue. You offered asanam, then Bhagavan is in the asanam, then you offered water, the drops of water should be there. The glass should be there, the panchopachara should be there. Everything should be there when you do Manasa Puja. And even when you offer flowers, let us say you're offering jasmine. It's not a random I offer flower. It's not be vague. When you offer flower, then you should know what flower you're offering. I'm offering this jasmine. I'm offering this champa. So in your whole visualization, when you are doing this Manasa Puja, then you see Bhagavan there. Then the asanam which you offered is there. The glass in which you offered water is there. The flower which you offered, first you offered jasmine is there, then you offered champa, that is also there. Should be a continuity. One should not disappear, one should not go away. That will give you a lot of absorb. That is what we mean by being completely absorbed in that. So there is a story of Pusalar Nayanar. Okay, he was a devotee of Lord Shiva. He was in Tirunendravoor, Tamil Nadu, near Chennai. He was worshipping a Shivalinga in the place somewhere in Tamil Nadu. And this Shivalinga did not have any shelter, any covering. It was in an open space. Open means not in a desert open space. Maybe there are some few plants or something, but not a proper shade, proper shelter. So he was very sad to see that Shiva is exposed to sun and rain and chillness and heat. He was feeling very sad. That is love, where you want your Bhagavan to be protected. Well, that is really beautiful. So if you look at our history also, when there was the Mughal invasion, people ran to protect the deities, My Shiva, my Krishna, my Devi, you know, I have to protect them. Just think of, they gave their lives to protect Bhagavan. Then don't ask if they wanted to save Bhagavan, why Bhagavan did not save them. No. That gives them the punya, that love, like how you run to protect your child, how you love the one whom you love, how you run to save someone whom you love. That is love, that much love they had towards Bhagavan. So this person also, and he was feeling very sad that Bhagavan is exposed to sun and rain. I have to really build a temple. But this Pusla did not have any money to build a temple. Didn't have enough money to build a temple. It's not that he had no money to eat and stay in a house and all. Not like that. Not a daridra, but he didn't have money to build a temple. So, but he still had a desire to build a temple. So, what to do? His desire was becoming stronger and stronger day by day. He definitely wanted to have a temple for his Lord, Bhagwan. So he decided to build the temple. he started building a temple in his heart, in his mind. Okay, Manasa. So the first thing, like if you want to build a temple, what all you will do? You'll first buy some land. You have to purchase some land. Then you have to lay a foundation. You have to first you have to design the temple. Then buy the material required to build a temple. Then lay the foundation and select the best material. So he did everything in detail. If you build a temple really, what all you do, he did. He didn't do it in 5 minutes. He did it every day. He was doing this, constructing this temple in his mind every day. Which means he has to remember how much land he purchased, how the foundation should be. So today he did the foundation. So next day morning he shouldn't forget how much foundation work has been done. Then he has to know how much stone, in those days it was stone, right? How much stone to buy, the thickness of the stone, the length of the stone. You should remember the measurement. It was a continuous thing. You know? He did like this, he built a temple. And in the Garbhagraha he designed, the linga of course was there, okay? Already the Shivalinga was there. And he also made facilities for everyone to come, to visit, stay. Everything was pakka. It was as great as a king would build a temple. So if you are doing Manasa, why be confused, right? Um, he had no hurry, he was not in a hurry. He enjoyed building the temple. Every moment, every step, he enjoyed. He was happy he was able to do that for his Shiva. He planned everything and built it step by step. And of course, it will take some time, right? And he completed the construction in his mind in some years and with great accuracy. Okay, according to the rule, he built a temple. Just imagine his whole life was consumed. I don't know how much time it took. It definitely must have taken few years, but he was totally absorbed in it. It would have been day and night, the same thoughts. It means his life, the whole life was a meditation for him. Then what happened when the temple got completed? The Shiva temple got completed, got constructed. Meanwhile, the Pallava king also constructed a temple in Kanchipuram. And he also fixed the day for Kumbhabhishekam. Huslar also fixed a day for Kumbhabhishekam. It so happened they both fixed the same day for Kumbhabhishekam. The whole Kanchipuram was ready for this Kumbhabhishekam because the temple is built by humans. Just imagine the arrangements and everything. Then Shiva appeared in the dream of this king. I forgot the name of it. And he said, "You please postpone your Kumbhabhishekam because there is one more Kumbhabhishekam on that day. So I have to be there. So you postpone it." Now don't ask, can't God be everywhere and all that, okay? Don't try to be too logical in this. Bhagavan said, you postpone the date. And since Bhagavan has already given the order, the king also just followed it. He didn't question. But this king became very curious. He wanted to know. Bhagavan said that there is a devotee by name Pusnar in Tirunelveli. There is a temple has come up, and I have to be there. So this king also became very curious. He wanted to know what temple it is, and he wanted to go and see. If Bhagavan himself is coming and saying you postpone the date, then it must be a very special temple. So I should also go and witness that. So he went to Tirunelveli. But nobody there knew about any temple. You couldn't find any temple at all. He was really surprised. But anyway, Bhagavan said Kusala, so he went to Kusala's house. He found out, somehow he inquired and nobody knew about him. Somehow he inquired and he went to Kusala's house. And Kusala was surprised to see the king there. and and king was also surprised and shocked to see that he was a very simple man living in a simple house. And how could this person would have built a temple? Where he would have built a temple? So he inquired Krishna, like, this is what happened, and Shiva came in my dream and told me that you have fixed the date for the Kumbhabhishekam, so I just wanted to come and see the temple. Where is the temple? And Krishna also was surprised, and he was so happy that Bhagwan has accepted his temple. He didn't expect all that. He didn't expect any recognition or anything. He was happy building the temple for Shiva. Then the concentration happened in his manasam. It happened, and then of course later on, when the time came, he also went to Shivaloka at the end. But meanwhile, the king was so impressed that he built a temple in Tirunendravu, and just like Kusala wanted it. And that temple, since it was a manifestation of the temple which was built in the heart of Kusala, the Shiva there is called as Hridayaleshwara, Hridaya Ala, one who has the Hridaya as his Alaya, as a resting place. So Hridayaleshwara temple. Then what happened to the temple the king built in Kanchipuram? It is also there. It's Kailas and other temple, and it is said that uh, he then later fixed a different date for the Kumbhabhishekam, and the Kumbhabhishekam also went well. This story is to tell you how Manasa Vyapara should be done. Which means you have to sit, and this also have a lot, has a lot of adrishta, but not as much as. But who cares if my bhavana is there? If Shiva himself is coming, so who are we to compare which is better and which is lesser fruitful? So we should not worry about all that. We give these definitions and explanations only for a certain understanding. That's all. Because one should not become lazy and avoid kaikam karma. Kaikam karma and anyway you have to. You cannot say no to that. If you want, Ishvara's anugraha kaikam karma is the best. And this also produces result. So let us not get into which is beneficial, which is more fruitful, which gives more punya. Who cares about punya if Bhagavan himself is there? If you can have darshan of Bhagavan, then what more punya you need if you can have darshan? If Bhagavan can actually postpone one Kumbhabhishekam for the temple which you build. So you can. Okay, the story, why I told you this story is, this is how Manasa Karma should be. Saguna Brahma Vishya Manasa Vyapara is. So which means it needs a lot of dedication, focus, charity, all those things. Oh my God, I can't build a temple. I can't, I don't know whether I can do this or it's okay. Do something simple. You can do a panchopachara puja or a shodashopachara puja or anything, a simple abhisheka, alankara, dhupadeepa nevedyam can be simple also. It can be elaborate and it can be simple. Kusala had to remember every detail. So that is how when you do a manasa puja, you have to be totally aware of what you are doing. This is how it is. It should be done. That's why I told you this. You can't rush. You can't say, okay, 2 minutes. While I go in bus, I'll finish. Okay, if while going traveling, if you can really close your eyes and do, you can do, but remember to get down from the bus when the stop comes. Okay, we can teach this to children also. Because for children, they are not those worries and anxieties about family and money is still not there. We can initiate children into that. We can tell them the story and train them to sit for a length of time. Maybe you can compete with your children. Let us see who's sitting longer and all that. You can start it as a play, and then it can become serious too. Then the other form of meditation is called japa. Okay? It means repeating or meaningful mantra or shloka connected to a particular devata. Sometimes Ishta devata or sometimes any devata. Like for example, on Sunday you want to focus on Surya Bhagavan, and on Monday you want to focus on Shiva, and on Friday you want to focus on Devi. Doesn't matter. But you have a mantra and you repeat this mantra in your mind. It could be a mantra into which you have been initiated, like you have received this mantra from a guru, or it could be any mantra like generally known mantras like Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om, or even Om Shri Matre Namaha, like Lalita Sahasranama, first mantra is there, or a Gayatri Japa. It could be a simple shloka also, like you have this Mrityunjaya mantra is also there. But again, once again, mantra means you should remember. You should learn it properly, and then you can't say it is only mental. No, so I can make how much ever mistake I want. You can't say even mentally you are chanting, right? Even in the mind you are chanting. So there also the swara should be correct. And once you choose a mantra, you should stick to the mantra. You cannot say it, 5 minutes you say something and tomorrow suddenly you wake up and say, no, no, I will say this. Then again after a few days you say, no, 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 I will say this. It's not like that. You should stick to one mantra. Unless your guru gives you some other mantra. In Sri Vidya Upasana, they will start with Ganapati mantra and then they will go into Bala Tripura Sundari, and then, there is a procedure till you come to the final shodashopachara mantra. So there are many mantras involved, which means that a particular mantra has to be recited few lakhs of times. Then they will give you the next mantra. The whole thing is one process. So it's better to stick to a mantra unless it is a different type of the whole procedure is different. And for the mantra, when you take diksha from a guru, they will also teach you nyasam and all that. Okay, if you have been initiated in that. Um, Otherwise, it is fine. Even if you just take any mantra, even if you are not initiated into, if you with Shraddha recite Om Namah Shivaya and any other mantra, it gives phalam. So you don't have to worry about all that. See, when you do all this puja and japa, and then don't get make it complicated, okay? Because wherever you read some book, they will tell you something. They will say, don't use this oil, use east, west, north, except south, whichever direction you want, you can light a lamp. Okay? Should I keep two lamps? Should they be facing each other, or should they be facing one against the other? Should I have two jyotis, or should I have five? It really doesn't matter. You don't get into all these things. Is it better to offer curd rice, or is it better to offer some grains? Don't worry, your bhavana is important. So don't make puja complicated. Already everything is complicated. Why you want to make prayer itself so complicated? Make it simple, na? You offer with love. When you offer with love, you can offer whatever you want. This flower is better, that flower is better. Of course, there are some flowers, there is some Vishesha. When you do karma, there is some Vishesha in certain things. But you can always do with whatever you have, no? If you don't get a champa flower where you want to say, oh, this flower is so special and I am not getting it, it's okay. Whatever you get, you have offer it happily. So don't get into all those worries. Do puja happily, do japa happily. Okay. And then when it comes to manasa japa, this japa, it should be purely mental. In japa, you are reciting, you are repeating a particular mantra or a shloka, only the mind should be involved. And of course, mind will be involved. What are you telling? You may wonder. No, the voice gets involved. Those who have done Manasa Japa will know the difference. When you sit and recite mentally, your vocal cord is going along. That's why sometimes people get tired also. In a very subtle way, your vocal cord is involved. So this purely mental doesn't happen immediately. It needs a lot of practice. The vocal cord will join. If you notice after some time you are actually saying that mantra rather than mentally saying it, you are saying it. Your mouth is not involved, but your throat it gets involved. Next time when you do, after 5 minutes, you notice what you are doing. Because many people will be doing reciting this japa, the mind will be going everywhere, but still you will be reciting the japa. So how can you do two things at the same time? What happens when your mind wanders away? The vocal cord takes over. Notice it next time. Try and see. If many of you might have not even noticed, you must be thinking you are doing Manasa Japa. But you are also thinking you're saying the mantra and also thinking about many other thoughts will be coming and going. If you are completely absorbed in reciting this mantra mentally, no other thought is possible at that time. You cannot have two thoughts at the same time. So this japa, manasa japa, gives lot of drishtapal, lot of peace, and your mind gets totally absorbed. There is ananda in doing a japa, but it is challenging also in the beginning. But once you know how to really recite it in the mind, you have to notice the difference whether I'm saying it mentally or whether the vocal cord is. Sometimes even the breath will also, you'll be holding because you want to focus on reciting it mentally, but the mind is wandering. Once the mind wanders, the throat takes over, the vocal cord takes over, and your breathing also is not really free. If it is totally mental and you're absorbed, the breathing also will be free. You won't do, and all will not come when you're doing the japa. So it comes with practice. Gradually, by being totally aware of what you're doing, you will get it. There is a lot of challenge in this mantra japa also. Um, how to do this mantra japa without getting distracted? Because the nature of the mind is to wander. How do I hold my mind in doing only this, repeating only in this particular mantra? We'll see in the next class. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं मनीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ